In the early 2000s, whispers of a massive financial laundering scheme reached the FBI. Billions of dollars were moving through shell corporations, offshore accounts, and real estate in New York and Miami. The money trail pointed to a powerful crime syndicate known as the Maranzano Network. But this was no ordinary mob family. They weren't just running drugs or extortion. They were laundering dirty money through legitimate Wall Street firms. The FBI launched Operation Silver Mirage, an ambitious plan to expose the syndicate. A mid-level banker turned whistleblower approached the bureau with inside knowledge. He described accounts that never balanced, transactions erased overnight, and high-ranking executives meeting with known mobsters. The FBI formed a specialized financial crimes unit. Their goal: follow the money. But within weeks, the syndicate seemed to anticipate every step. Bank servers wiped clean before raids. Witnesses disappeared. Someone was tipping them off. Behind the bureau's polished image, one man held the keys: Agent Victor Kane, a rising star in financial crimes. To his peers, he was brilliant, quick with numbers, sharp in strategy. But what they didn't know was that Kane was on the mob's payroll. Kane funneled intel to the Maranzano Network, warning them of every subpoena and investigation. In return, he was rewarded with offshore accounts, luxury cars, and a Manhattan penthouse. The syndicate didn't just buy influence. They bought protection from the very agency sworn to destroy them. Enter Samuel Price, an investigative reporter known for uncovering financial scandals. Price noticed unusual stock movements and real estate purchases tied to mob-linked firms. Late nights, he pieced together a story. The mob had infiltrated Wall Street and someone inside the FBI was protecting them. When he published his first article, the FBI called it sensationalism. But mobsters don't fear headlines. They fear exposure, and Price was now a marked man. By 2005, anomalies in case files began to surface. Subpoenas unsigned, court orders vanishing. Surveillance logs rewritten. A veteran FBI supervisor, Linda Monroe, started to suspect foul play. She noticed Kane's name on nearly every failed operation. Monroe quietly launched an internal review, tracing Kane's financials. What she found was damning: hidden transactions, coded messages, and unexplained wealth. But when she tried to escalate her findings, she was met with silence. The rot went deeper than one man. The Maranzano Network thrived. Their reach extended into construction contracts, political donations, and private equity funds. They owned luxury hotels, sports franchises, and even charitable foundations. Meanwhile, whistleblowers kept dying. A banker jumped from his high-rise office. A paralegal drowned in her bathtub, each death written off as an accident. The syndicate's message was clear: talk, and you die. An FBI analyst named Carolyn Vega discovered a trove of encrypted emails linking Kane directly to the mob. Vega knew the risks, but she leaked the files anonymously to Price, the journalist. Within days, her identity was exposed. Kane arranged for her transfer, and soon after, she vanished. But the files survived, and Price now held the key to unraveling the FBI's darkest secret. Price's expose shook the nation. Wall Street, the mob, and the FBI connection dominated headlines. Congress demanded answers. The Department of Justice opened an inquiry, but Kane and his allies fought back. They accused Price of fabricating evidence. Monroe was reassigned. The Bureau insisted there was no proof of internal corruption. Yet, the public pressure was relentless. For the first time, cracks in the cover-up began to show. In 2007, a joint task force of the IRS and SEC working outside the FBI's shadow launched surprise raids on mob-linked firms. The evidence was overwhelming. At Kane's penthouse, agents uncovered offshore banking records, gold bars, and coded ledgers tying him to the Maranzano Network. Kane was arrested, disgraced, and eventually sentenced. But like all scandals, many believe he wasn't alone. Some say Kane was merely a pawn protecting someone higher in the Bureau. Operation Silver Mirage ended in silence. Dozens of agents quietly resigned. Mob leaders vanished overseas. Billions of dollars disappeared into offshore havens. Linda Monroe retired, bitter but resolute. Samuel Price wrote a best-selling book, warning that corruption wasn't a one-time failure, it was systemic. When money owns justice, he wrote, truth becomes the first casualty. To this day, questions linger. How much of the FBI was compromised? How many cases were buried? And how many more silver mirages remain hidden?